Welcome. Welcome to the umpteenth annual, biennial Service Excellence Conference. How many of y'all this is your first time? Holy cannolis. That's awesome. Well, I hope y'all enjoy it as much as I do. There's a lot to learn, a lot of good people to meet. If you haven't met everybody yet, I'm sure you haven't. We got some really good sessions this year. They sold out faster than any other year I've ever seen. It really has. Standing room only. We've got some new presenters this year. They're going to be nervous as all get out. So give them a hard time. Our opening session is going to be awesome this year. We've got our 3 deputy chancellors. They're gonna enlighten y'all. I'll catch them next week. I got a lot of finishing up to do out front. So without further ado, Dr. Michelle Carter is going to stand in for the chancellor and then follow up with her part of it.
You all have been extremely fiscally responsible for the most part. We were able to present to the Board of Trustees a balanced budget this year, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get into my section. But again, he wanted to express his appreciation for all that you do. Also, one of the things that the Chancellor has admonished the DCs and the leadership to do, and I'll pass this on to you, is he's asking us to look at process improvements, look at places and look at the things that we're doing to see where we can create efficiencies for our students, and if there's a cost savings that comes along with that, that would be great too. So evaluate what you're doing. Think of benchmark, even in your individual areas, and see, are there any things that, or is there anything that you can do differently, or that the college can do differently to improve upon what we're already doing. And you're already doing a great job, so he wanted you to know that. Also, I'll get into this a little bit later, but the 86th legislative session concluded in May. There were over 1,400 bills that impacted the junior community colleges. And so I'll talk about a couple of those when I talk about my individual division, finance and administration. But again, he wanted to say welcome and thank you for a job well done and a wonderful year, fiscal year 18-19, and he's looking forward to another good year. Finance and administration, I'll talk about budget first. As I mentioned, we presented the board with a balanced budget of $119 million. It's about $22 million less than last year, and that's because we finally completed the infrastructure project that had been going on since 2017. I know you all are happy to get your campus back, and so thank you for bearing with us on that. But we presented a $119 million budget. Mr. Shimwell, who used to serve on the board, would ask Mr. Liberty, did everybody get what they wanted, everything that they want? And he would say, no, sir, but they got everything they needed. So there were some tough decisions that had to be made, but again, we use a zero-based budgeting model, so we build from scratch every year, and we try to balance those revenues and expenses so that we're not operating in the hole. The college has no debt, and we want to keep it that way. That budget did include, for eligible employees, a one-step increase of 2.5%. And also talking about the finance area, we are currently undergoing our annual audit. So the hope is for a very clean audit, and we'll have that final decision, the final report in about December. So that's where we are in finance. Our budget was built with enrollments being flat, which means we basically kept it the same. So the estimated revenue was similar to what it was previously. Unfortunately, we had a decrease in enrollments this fall. So it automatically put our budget at a slight deficit. So we're hoping to overcome that in the spring. But because of that, one of the things we had to do, and you all have seen this, I'm sure, is we had to go ahead and implement our hiring freeze a month early. Typically, we do that November 1. We had to go ahead and do it October 1. And so with that, and the difference, in addition to being a month early, the other difference is that it's indefinite. So what we're trying to do is curb some expenses in light of what has happened with the enrollments. So it's a balancing act. I just wanted to provide you with that information because I truly believe that it's important for people to know why certain things are happening. You know, not just to know that it did happen, but that's the why behind it, okay? Let's see, in facilities management, as I said, the campus, we're finished with the infrastructure project, so now we're gonna be focusing on the roads and some other things, some signage at some of the entry points. We got the board to approve some dollars for that, and so we're sprucing up the campus now. Mark Harmson is working with Barbara Merlot and his team, their respective teams, so I think it's gonna be beautiful. Has everybody seen the artwork in the mall area?
Yes.
Isn't it beautiful? We're currently working on a plaque to identify the department and the students who worked on that. We're pretty proud of that, and we're looking to do more of that in that area. So kudos to them. And let's see, what else is going on in facilities? I think that's about, well, there's a lot going on in facilities, but that's the highlight. Back to the legislation. Some of the things that we're seeing that are going to have an immediate impact on our campus, and I say immediate within the year. There's some new Title IX legislation, some new reporting requirements, some policy changes. You know, anytime something happens at the federal level, states automatically start creating additional legislation, and they're never all the same. So sometimes it's reactionary, sometimes it's necessary. So effective August 1, 2020, we have some policies and procedures that we need to revise and implement, and so we're already doing that, working with Dr. Garrett and her team. Another item is the free speech assembly bill. Public demonstration, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. But that's a bill whereby colleges have to come up with policies and procedures to allow for peaceful assemblies on campus. There was a time where we could restrict certain activities to certain parts of the campus, but that is no longer the case. So, and again, it's one of those things that happened at the federal level, and now colleges across the country, and you've seen the news, so you know what this is in response to. So many states now have passed legislation on what colleges will be required to do as it relates to those peaceful assemblies. And so with the upcoming election, we anticipate seeing an uptick in activity on campus, and we'll be ready. We're already working with our attorney. We've already drafted a policy, and it's currently under review. I think that's it. There's much more, but I think that's enough for now. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Ada. You guys enjoy your conference. I'm going to head out to a pension plan meeting. We've got to go look at your retirement funds. So you guys enjoy the conference and have a great weekend.
Good morning. Good morning. I have to stand here. I wiggle too much, but so good morning. My name is Tina Ady, and I'm the Deputy Chancellor for Instruction and Workforce Initiative, and it's my pleasure to give you a few updates this morning. I'll try to leave plenty of time for you. I can talk fast as long as you can actually good. As far as ISD enrollments, you know, our biggest enrollments come from Killeen ISD, and we have thousands of students here, so it's really incredible. The early college high school has grown. We also have other initiatives. STEM started last year, so students are shuttled in from other high schools here to CTC, and they participate in classes for a half day that they're here. We have students from early college, early college. Those are the ones from Cove ISD that are shuttled in. And again, they spend half day here in classes that we have. So really, it's incredible. When you go across campus, you see a lot of people with a school lanyards around them too. Music, that's great. So a few other initiatives that we're expecting for next next year, to add to that, is a cyber academy and also a teacher track. What that means, those high schoolers can go into those tracks and they prepare them to go into that respective field. We continue our work on educational resources. When I say we, it's really all of the faculty that get all the credit for that. They are the ones to look at it. This is all in an effort to really get rid of textbooks. Textbooks are still very expensive sometimes, and so the effort is there to replace it with free books, free online resources that students can use. So far we have about 84 or so classes that don't require textbooks, and that effort is ongoing. So thank you to all the faculty that participate in that. Fields of study is something that all 50 community colleges in Texas participate in. And Anelia Fairfield and Ellen Falkenstein are the two faculty members that are taking the lead, and they truly, truly do spectacular jobs. So, I'm sorry, I'm talking about pathways. Sorry, let's talk about pathways first. So pathways really get students from high school to college to the four-year institution. Really, we have been doing this for several years. So I guess the nice thing is we're a little bit ahead of the game. We were in Cadre 3, we completely skipped Cadre 2, went to Cadre 1 now. And so thanks to the great support services and of course to the instruction, students can see where they're going, where they want to go. The trick is sometimes trying to figure out what they want to do, and when you're so young, it's difficult to figure that out at times. So let me go back to the fields of study. Fields of study are clusters of courses in an academic field that students can transfer from the community college to the four-year institution. The Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board invites faculty, including us here, to participate in that. They want input. What should these courses be for criminal justice, or for music, or for nursing, or for or business, or other fields? So the benefit, what is the benefit to that? Our students then can take these 5, 6, 8 courses, all clusters are a little bit different, and transfer them to a university as a whole set, as a whole cluster, a whole set. So beautiful, right? So it's not the 2 steps forward, 3 back. They can actually progress very well towards their degree. We continuously work on new programs. So twice a year, the curriculum review committee meets and looks at what proposals faculty have for either new degrees, to modify degree plans, or to make some other changes. So, and then of course we have an online option as well, online voting. But robotics is a degree that has gone through the approval of our Board of Trustees and also the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. So we are in the final stages of getting approval from SAC-COC, and that's our Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, our accreditation agency. So hopefully everything goes well, and we're confident it will, and so next year we'll have a robotics degree. And you think students are excited? I think so, especially the younger students will be. ROTC is not a new program that we're involved in, but we have somebody on campus. As a matter of fact, Mr. Heathman is here in this building. He has an office here. And so he has participated in pre-service, he participates in outreach events, so he is truly part of our campus, and we are excited about that. As you know, we are just a very military community, and there's interest in getting kids into the military. So we look forward to continuing our work with him. So what's going on around campus, or away here from campus? We have a 12-county service area that we serve, primarily with dual credit courses, but also we have community education we provide. We provide courses in the Gatesville prison. We have various programs there, and the prison contacted us and said, we really need to expand our offerings to female offenders. And so we have a proposal in to have not online classes, not quite there yet, but multimedia courses that students can take. And we're also looking into a proposing an IT network analyst program. So I think that will be very, very popular. All right, let's switch to Fort Hood. As you know, our students in vocational technical programs have an internship that they complete in their last semester before they graduate. So our faculty, our chairs, they have made great relationships with different industries and organizations where students can intern. But Fort Hood now has another initiative that allows students to be placed in organizations on the installation to complete internships. Last year we had 5, and I think more to come this school year. As a matter of fact, if you are faculty, I think it's next month when Ms. Peggy Stamper from the Ed Center will give an update on it. Fort Hood, this is not on there, but I want to talk about it. Fort Hood has different initiatives. Of course, when you have soldiers deploying, a lot of them are going to Poland right now. You have to look at what can you do differently. Is there something you want to do or change to make it attractive? So Fort Hood campus has they have 2 fur classes. They have power weekends where students go 1 weekend on, 1 weekend off for 6 weeks and complete courses. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday class. Again, different concept, but it works for some students. Library services really have extended their outreach to Fort Hood. They have always supported Fort Hood, but now it really is to a higher degree where they have a physical presence. They're able to review students' papers before they turn them in, give feedback. So students really enjoy having that available. So thank you to your team, Dr. Garrett, for having them come out. We have always worked with the military, I think you know that. But what we're doing now, or over the last few years, we have transition programs specifically for service members that are exiting the military. And some are credit programs, some are non-credit programs. They vary anywhere from about 8 weeks to 16 weeks or so. So what these soldiers do is right before they get out of the military, they can participate in one of these programs. Funding is usually provided through the Texas workforce. And so in many cases it's free or at a very reduced cost to them. And then the program ends up with a job offer. So that's truly a terrific opportunity. We have Heroes Manufacturing, we have SAP program, we teach ASE certifications, we work with Caliber Collision. So a lot of different initiatives are going on with that. Credentialing programs is a fairly new initiative. It started on Fort Hood, went to Fort Campbell, and now it's rolled out to other installations. In the past, soldiers could only use tuition assistance for college courses, but now it's extended to credentialing. So if somebody wants to get an industry certification or so, active duty soldier can use those funds to get that. And so this program is growing, and of course the value is that the soldier is really more knowledgeable while they're still on active duty, and really they pave their way for when they leave the service. Last week, I think, it's a blur sometimes. Last week we had a meeting at Texas Workforce here in Killeen to talk about apprenticeships. So apprenticeships is an employer-driven initiative. And it's paid, so it's for students who finish up their degree here, who go into an apprenticeship, a paid apprenticeship. And the workforce pays for the training and education that those apprentices need. So that's sort of where we come in as a college. We provide that education and training, and we have learned over time that it's really instrumental to be flexible. To look at what the needs are of folks that are employing our students, and to make the appropriate changes to it. I guess the last item I want to address is Continental Campus. You know that we have sites, of course we have Europe Campus too. We teach Navy students, and also Continental Campus really goes from the East Coast to the West Coast. We have sites, we have site directors there, and I think some of you interact with them in various ways when they call you for help and they need some guidance from you. So initially we had a dean, and then on Fort Hood, who oversaw Continental and Fort Hood, and now what we will have 2 associate deans. Those 2 associate deans, part of their job is overseeing the Navy operation, and the other part is overseeing Continental operation. So I think it'll be great. Our site directors, They will be reporting to an associate dean, that's either Mike Webster or Mary Stone, and we can make great things happening. We have a close contact with ESOs. It's schools coming and going, so I can tell you that Continental is really an ongoing effort to keep our sites going. And I know, Dr. Garrett, I speak fast enough, just about. Okay, all right. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Garrett to give you more updates. Thank you.
Here. Okay. Excuse me, I'm not feeling very well. I caught something when I was on a cruise last week. I don't fall off, right? But I feel really sorry for me. But I've been struggling to speak, so the more I talk, the more I cough. And for some reason, I thought that 28 slides were appropriate for today. I'm going to rush through them today, needless to say. I was asked by Dr. Reese to talk about updates in my area, as well as talk about our mission and vision and strategic plan. In the process of thinking through that, while I was on the cruise, I thought about how not only does our strategic plan impact us and our mission, our vision, and of course all of our support services in college, but the coordinating board plan impacts us, as well as SAC. So I have to throw that into this mix also. So I promise to try to get this through quickly. Okay, my area has changed its name. We were Academic and Student Services. We're now Academic and Student Success. And that truly, truly aligns with the state and national direction for supporting our students. So I'm very pleased at the change in the area of our area's name to Academic and Student Success. So people that are in my area in academic or in student success and persistence, please stand. I can see some of you. These are the people that support these students on a day-to-day basis with tutoring and child care assistance, book lending, Title IX stuff. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And you send your students over there for help with the tutoring, and hopefully the faculty are able to, and anybody is able to submit early alerts all through our new Target X system that's going to help these students be successful. And that's the whole point of my area, is our student success. So I'm not going to go into all the details of what's going on, but they have a lot of things happening in their area, so thank you, Dean Stark. And they did a very successful Welcome Week and Spirit Week a couple weeks ago. Did all of you participate? Did y'all dress up? I know we had some great pictures, and I think our employees had more fun dressing up than the students did. All right, student services people, stand up. All right, yes. These are the people that get your students here, right? Get our students here. And then they support them also throughout their stay here. And then complete them, get them graduated, right? And get their transcripts and all that fun stuff. We are going to electronic transcripts. Hopefully we'll have that implemented before the spring. I'd like to have it implemented before the holidays so that we don't have students suffering while we're on break trying to get a transcript. That we want them to be able to get it automatically while we're on holiday break in December. Oh, one thing I want to go back and highlight. I don't want anybody to ever forget that while we have our normal office hours, we still serve students evenings, weekends, through the evening weekend college advising, and through, I know y'all laughing at me, I tell y'all, don't call it evening week college, call it advising. Here, I did it. It's a drug. And then the Eagles on Call. So don't ever let your students think that they have to take off work to come in. We can help them at any time. Anybody here from Institutional Accountability and Curriculum Support? Stand up. Stand up. These are the people that keep us straight. Do all of our reporting. They're working diligently to
work on our SACS 5th year report and make sure that we're in line for that. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. They are there to get our curriculum going for our classes, keep our catalog up, all that fun stuff. One exciting thing that's coming out of that area, and I look forward to the report, is they're doing some research on report on diversity in CTC. And I really look forward to seeing the results of that research. Library. Anybody from the library? Come see it. Pretended to stand up. We all know what the library does, but they're expanding. Libraries have changed over the years, and nowadays it's more of a place that students go to just gather. It's not necessarily all about the books. They gather there, they do activities there, and the library is moving in that direction. They're creating these spaces to help the students support the learning that's done in the classroom. So we look forward to seeing the results of those efforts. We also have a ribbon cutting for a special collections room. I believe it's October 22nd. We've had many donations of special collections, and we've been working for over 2 years to have this room ready for a ribbon cutting. And we're very excited to have that opening, and please visit it whenever you can. Marketing and outreach, stand up. You see these? Oh, and you, student worker. Yeah. You see these people all over the place, and they are working diligently to keep this institution on the forefront with social media and videos. We have Eagle Life. I hope every single one of you watch the Eagle Life videos that come out. It's very informative. It's great. So the work they do to keep us on the forefront in the media is wonderful. So thank you. They've recently won 4 awards for social media, for videos, and for our wonderful hands down commercial. We've all seen that, haven't we? Yes, come on, I'm sure you have. Hands down, yes, it's great. So they won 4 awards. All right, so let's get on to the boring stuff. Mission, vision, strategic plan. In 2018, we redid our mission, and it's always good to remind everybody of what our mission is. And I only have a few minutes to do another 30 slides. Central Texas College provides accessible and quality educational opportunities that support a diverse student population, promote student success, completion, and employability. That is our mission. That's what we do every day. So please it doesn't hurt to remind ourselves of what our mission is. Our vision, we serve our diverse global community through engaging in innovative education. That's what we do, and let's keep doing it. Our priority 1 was student success, and we have several goals under that you work every day on things that would work toward completing these goals, and you turn that in your strategic planning, and you show what you've done to address those. Priority 2 is expand instructional programs and support services to students. We're doing that every day. We're working very diligently to expand these services, and as Dr. Carter mentioned earlier, to streamline the tasks that students have to go through and we have to go through. Priority 3 was continuous assessment improvement of operations and services. Again, that's the streamlining and looking at our tasks and how we work through procedures and policies. And of course, we want to decrease the barriers to enrollment for our students. Modernize, improve, and expand infrastructure facilities. I think Mark Harmson and his team have done an amazing job, haven't they? Give them a hand, please. They gave the biggest hand. And support and serve our community locally and worldwide. We do that, and I have no doubt that every one of these goals is in everybody's heart on a daily basis to ensure that we support all of our students worldwide. All right, the coordinating board. The Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board has a plan for 60 by 30. I'm sure you've seen it, heard it. There's 4 overarching goals, and a lot of them, or some of them, we can't do anything about at the moment because it's going to be a count in 2030. But as we work toward increasing our student success rates. We will hopefully reach those goals. They will take a tally in 2030 and hope that 60% of all Texans, whether they went to school here or not, will have a certificate or a degree if they're 25 to 34. So as we educate and they leave the state, they won't count. As people move in from out of state, they will count. So it's just a moving target, and I hope we'll get there. But this is the one that the coordinating board is holding our feet to the fire on. We have to have at least 550,000 students in the year 2030 complete a certificate or a degree from one of the Texas higher education institutions. Now, this might not be too clear, but they asked us to submit our projections. And in Central Texas, these are the schools in Central Texas, we're expected to get close to 100,000 students in the year 2030 to graduate with a degree or certificate. With the projections that the schools in Central Texas have given, we'll only reach 70,000. However, we, CTC, projected in 2020, we hit 2,700. Last year, if I'm right, Dr. Welsh, 2,799. So in May, we've already exceeded our goal. I'm not gonna go back and change it. I'm not gonna tell them we can do better, but they want me to, because they want each and every one of the chief academic officers of all of these institutions to up it, because we need another 30,000 in order to meet our goal for Central Texas. I don't plan to, but we'll see. I don't think any other CAOs plan to either. We'll just see if we can get there. The other two are that the students will graduate with marketable skills, and that their debt will not exceed 60% of their first year wages. Coming to CTC, obviously they won't, so that's great. SACS, this is very brief. How many of you were here for the 10-year SACS review in 2015? Many of you. Okay, well this is going to be a little easier. The 5-year review is not as extensive as the 10-year. We only have 22 of the 80 some odd principles to address, and our QEP has to be addressed. We'll get the letter next month about it, telling us that we have to do this, which we already know we have to do this, but it'll also tell us what sites they might want to see and what faculty qualifications they might want to review. We have to turn that in September 2020, and it'll go to the SACS board in December. I don't see any problem with us being reaccredited. Don't see any issues whatsoever in what I've seen so far. So keep up the good work. And many of you will be called on to help write those 22 principles. So thank you. I recently saw this, and I'm going to wrap this up right now. Colin Powell wrote this, and I was very surprised, since he's a 4-star general, to say it's not about organizations or plans or strategies. Doesn't quite sit right with me, but it is about the people, motivating people to get the job done. Well, after I read that and thought about it for a while, I thought, no, it's true, because without you guys working together and motivating each other, the plans and the strategies and all the things that I just talked about that we have to meet won't happen. So thank you for everything you do every day, and let's keep working together.